What's up, guys? Andy BC Builds here, showing you some line work practice. This is foam paper you can buy at Walmart. Right there. I got that like 2.5 years ago, and I still have tons of it left. I got that midway through my apprenticeship. This stuff is pretty kick-ass for learning line work. I got the apprentice here, well, the new shop apprentice. It's not my apprentice. Came over, show him some tips on some line work. You can see I threw this down really quick. There was a stencil. I'm not going to make excuses. I threw down some pretty shitty lines here. Let me put my head cam on. Yeah, I kind of fucked up on that one big time. You can see the light moving around in the background. That is my headlamp I'm wearing. I just wanted to show you guys in the video. And I'm making him wear one so he gets used to it. Because we all kind of wear them at the shop. Anyways, I'm going to shut it off. It's driving me nuts. This paper is really nice. It'll show you the consistency of your lines. It'll show blowouts. It'll show depth. It'll show shakiness, blips, the whole 9 yards. You can't color on this. Well, you could, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. And the cool thing about this is it doesn't hold stencils very well. It holds it well enough, but the fact that the stencils wipe away easier on this, it teaches you to be a lot more careful when you're doing your line work, not to wipe the stencil away. Because on this, it wipes away 3 times as easy on the skin. But if you practice enough on this, you become so paranoid with the stencil. You always learn to wipe away, which is common knowledge, but for some people it's not. For instance, if this was all stencil and you did ink here, or tattoo a line there, you want to wipe away from it. And your hand that you're stretching with, sometimes you're going to have to put it on the stencil, but make sure not to fucking smear it. When you got to move your hand, pick it up and move it over the stencil. Sometimes you're going to have to push down on it. Also with this paper, what I did, you have to have one underneath too. This is just a black sheet, just in case the needle goes through it, which would mean you're going too deep, which is good because you can turn it around. And you obviously see I didn't go too deep. I didn't go through it. That's how I learned. I put paper towels in the middle here and taped it down so it's bowed. It's got a curve in it this way because you're never tattooing on a completely flat surface. You're tattooing on a soft surface that has give and is rounded. Every part of the body is rounded. There's no perfectly flat. So I could just put this on a table, but it's him drawing on paper. There's no roundness to it. So I showed him real quick. And because it's bowed like this, he actually has to use his left hand to hold it down. Makes sense. I want to make this as realistic as possible. Given this is a lot softer than skin, so the machine, which I would normally run around 9 volts, my rotary, I knocked it down to about 7.5. Just because if you go too fast, you'll get too thin of a line. It kind of equals it out. Yeah, these are shitty lines. Sorry. I'm fucking sick as hell. Not an excuse. If I ever put this on a customer, I'd probably get fired. Anyways, I'll show you what I got set up over here. Nothing special. Just a quick cup with a little water and green soap to rinse the tube when I'm done. And a cup of black ink that I spilled everywhere. Yeah, everything's not barrier filmed. I'm not worried about being sanitary. This is practice at my house. You know, this isn't at the shop. And the machine I'm using is my favorite machine by far, well, at least rotary. And this is my Hummingbird rotary. I'm not sure who makes it. ET Tattoo Supply. Swiss motor. Right now that's running at about 8.7 volts. And that would be, I equaled it out. This is about 130 hertz. Cycles per second, so the needle's going in and out 130 times a second, a little slower than I'd run my coils, but this hits a lot harder, so it's putting more ink in than the coil would. It kind of evens out. I have this metal grip that I haven't used, well, I've never actually used before. I got this in an eBay kit years and years ago before I even got my apprenticeship, but I hated the fucking grip on it back then, and I still do. The back flares up too much, kind of gets in the way of my finger, but I said, because I didn't have any 3 round tips or tubes at home, and I only had a metal one, that's why I used it. That's at 8.7 volts. It's pretty quiet, and I'm going to run a line for you guys real quick. It's going to be one-handed, so it's going to kind of be shitty, but it'll show you that it does hold it. Turn my light on. I'm watching through the camera, so forgive me. Oh, and always, because I can't do it, remember, see how there's ink on the tip there? Always blot it on your paper towel first. Always clean the tip off before you do your lines, so you don't get that ink pool right away and you can actually see the needle. I should have done that first, but I'm doing this one-handed. Obviously I'd put one hand down and stretch it, but I can't. I'm holding the camera. Basically you'd want to hold it. Don't ever hold it like a pencil. You don't want to hold it like a pencil. You want to hold it back more, and do a lot of the work in your wrist and the combination of your fingers. You always want to keep the needle even, 90 degrees with the skin. Remember, the skin curves, so you're going to have to... And this is working off the tip. This needle sticks out a little far. Not as far as I'd usually have it for him. I just want to make sure he's not going too deep. I recommend learning off the tip. Just makes it easier just to learn it right from the beginning, instead of working off the tube. Working off the tip, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it. I'll turn the machine sideways. Yeah, you can't really see it. Sorry, the shadow's in the way. Anyways, working off the tip, you can actually see the needle, and your precision is a lot better. You know, it doesn't matter when you're going forward like this, you could see the needle if you're working off the tube, but when you were going backwards and if you're working off the tube, you can't see the needle. If you're working backwards off the tip, I can see the needle the whole time. And the awesome thing about this rotary is it's consistent, the same hit every time, so I'm obviously going to get cleaner lines. But with rubber bands on it, running backwards this way forces the needle against the rubber bands, which is creating tension, and it would actually slow it down. With a rotary here, the needle, when you go backwards, is pushed up against this tensioner here with this wheel, and this is a nice Swiss bearings in here, so there's no tension. This machine actually will run a little faster backwards than it does forwards, because when you're going backwards, all the tension's on those bearings and it runs freely. Instead, when you're going forwards, it's pushing it against the tube, causing more friction. So this is just more consistent, back, forward, side to side. This works far better, with opposed to a lot of my coil machines. You go backwards and it slows down a little because you got the tension against the rubber bands. And this is just infinitely adjustable. I get the speed I want and a little longer stroke working off the tip. It prevents any kind of hang-ups. And this has got an awesome Swiss motor. It's super powerful. It's not the best rotary in the world. It was about $160. Full CNC frame. RCA jack. Real Swiss motor. I took it out. It's not a Maxim, but it's a real nice brushless Swiss motor. And it comes with a warranty. It's actually got nice springs set up in it for the tension. Right now I have very little give on it. When I line, I have almost zero give, just for consistency. And it's about a 3mm stroke on it. But the more give you give it, obviously it has more throw, or the throw is a little longer because of inertia. You can see this is another one of my custom clip cords. Nothing special. I'm going to run one more line, try to do this one-handed. I would suck if I lost a hand. I'd never be able to tattoo one-handed, because usually you have your hand down, and what people don't realize is when you have both hands down, it's actually bracing you, it's stabilizing you. It stabilizes your whole body. What people don't realize, movement to your body, even a slight movement with your foot will actually have a reaction in your hand. Your hand will move. So when you're bracing yourself with your other hand, it keeps yourself a lot steadier. I also wear this wrist thing, which goes across my knuckles too. It's a compression glove because I have arthritis, and it just helps with the vibrations. But anyways, it also helps keep my hand, it's a little stiffer, so it's a little harder to get the motions, but it keeps them a lot more consistent. I've been wearing this since day one because I have arthritis. Great career I picked, right? Genius. Alright, so I run a line, as you can see. There you go. Got a line. No, those aren't really going to show up well. Anyways, that's it. Put a stencil down and practice, practice, practice. The first day I met my mentor, he made me tattoo him, but after that, I didn't tattoo skin for a while besides myself. I probably did this 1,000 times easily, the same fucking rose that I have here. This exact rose is what I tattooed probably 1,000 times. I can do this with my eyes closed without a stencil now. I thought I'd give this to the new shop apprentice to do as a kind of, funny joke, showing my mentor, who still works there, owns the shop. Anyways, I'm out, guys. Any questions? Sorry if I was kind of babbling on. I'm sick. I have the flu. I'm done. He's going to do this. I'm going to go watch TV.